to the Mitzvah Party podcast. We talk about anything and everything that has to do with the Mitzvah Party on the day of the Bar Bat Mitzvah. This is episode number 11, recorded on Wednesday, May the 23rd, 2018. My name is Clint, and with me is a guy that I would imagine has done, well, he knows more about Mitzvah Party entertainment than I know. Wait a minute, I got to say this right. He's forgotten more about Mitzvah Party entertainment than I know. The one and only Gil Zuniga.
My goodness, I must know a lot.
or I know very well. Anyways, the point is, you're really good at what you do. Let's focus on the positive.
Okay.
And Gil, his company is Zuniga Entertainment because Zuniga is his last name. Gil, spell it, tell it.
Zuniga, Zuniga Entertainment, Gil Zuniga Entertainment. Yeah, been around 17 years, 17 and a half years now. Wow, that's just incredibly crazy.
Now, okay, because you love what you do and you do it so well and you've done so many, does the 17 years, is it like a surprise or does it feel like you've got that depth of experience?
Well, I have more than 17 years of experience, but because obviously you and I worked together for a company prior to me opening up mine, and I worked for them.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I worked for them for 6 years. So right. I've got over 20 years of experience of doing mitzvahs. So yeah, when they start calling you up saying, can you do a wedding that you did for a child that you did their mitzvah? It's like, oh my goodness, I've been doing this a while.
But that's cool. I like the thread where you connect the thread for the family and for yourself and that kind of stuff, which brings me to today's topic. We teased it in the last episode. We live in Southern California, and it's just kind of by nature that we occasionally will be around celebrities of different sorts. Now, most people, when they think celebrities, they think of the entertainment industry, and that's true. But there are celebrities of all different kinds, shapes, sizes, backgrounds, and that sort of thing. And it brings a unique dynamic to a mitzvah party. Let's just start with the kind of what happens to you when you realize that, okay, this is for somebody that's kind of famous.
The first thing that comes to my mind is, I wonder what they're like.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because all the parents you deal with, you come up against different personalities. You come up with the A personality, the B personality, neurotic personalities, easygoing personalities. You come up with all the different. So you think to yourself, what slot is this person gonna fit in? You know what I mean? Of all those different personalities that you encounter. And hopefully they're not going to fit in the pains in the butt personality, where you just go, oh my goodness, I can't wait for this event to be over because I know this person's already driving me crazy, and you're hoping that they're not going to be that way. And by the most part, they haven't been, the celebrities that I've worked with. They've been pretty easy-going, and they're thinking of so many different things other than this, and they have people and staff, and 99% of the time they have an event planner or an assistant that's handling a lot of the stuff. So and they're there for the important meetings, and you're finalizing with them most of the time, or an event planner, and if they're trusting them completely. So, and then at the party, they're just having a good time. They're just celebrating. They're just letting loose. I mean, I've seen few crazy things, a few celebrities do. And
let's go back to when they choose somebody that isn't a mitzvah party planner, but they probably do corporate organizing, or they have done within the reality or the realm of this particular celebrity. They choose somebody, maybe a personal assistant or whatever, who is used to organizing logistics and things like that. But as you and I both know, a mitzvah party is its own beast and it has its own idiosyncrasies. Talk about when somebody is walking into a mitzvah world, even though they're really good organizing events outside of the mitzvah world, and you have to interface with them. You know what I mean?
I think that what I meant was the 99% of the time they have an event planner.
Right.
But my go-between sometimes, maybe 50% of the time, is someone like you just described, like an assistant, a personal assistant, somebody of that nature. But most of the time when we're dealing with a mitzvah, so that person we go through just to get to that person, to the end client, to schedule a meeting, to schedule a phone call. You call them and they say, "Oh, I'll patch you in." They're in their car. You know what I mean? So
Right,
you're
right.
not doing any of the real planning with those people, the go-betweens, the assistants, because you're not, like I said, I can only think of one client that was a celebrity that I could think of that didn't have an event planner, and they did it all. He did it all himself. Him and his wife did it all himself, and we did both his kids' events throughout the years ago, few years ago, actually, not that long ago. But like I said, 99% of the time, you're always dealing with an event planner, and most of the time, and some of the time, they're really big event planners. And then you have other ones, but they have experience, and that's the thing. Now, when we do events where we get hired by the event planner, then it's whatever the event planner wants. But most of the time we get hired, most of the time I can think of, we've been hired by the client, by the celebrity. At that point, you're coordinating with the event planner, the party planner. And I think I told a story one time about an event that I was the DJ at, and there was an MC, and we were doing a celebrity event as a mitzvah. And this MC, I think I told you this, basically moved in with the family prior to the event. I mean, he really,
Right.
bonded with the kids, and he bonded with the family, took the kid to the movies, went and helped them with his homework. I mean, he just, yeah. And through that, he got a lot of other clients. But he was like, it was Uncle James. That's who he was to the family by the time it came to the party. So when it came to the planning, he was there and had the client's ear and trust more than the party planner. So I remember him looking at the party planner and saying something to the effect of, "No, we're going to do it this way." And this is a party planner, a big, big celebrity party planner that you just don't say that to. Unless you're absolutely sure you're going to get away with it. I remember the shock on my face going, "Oh my goodness, you just said that to her?" And then the client looked at her and said, "Whatever he wants."
Jeez Louise.
And I just went, "Whoa, okay."
My body just got kind of tense when you were describing that whole thing.
Yeah, it was a tense moment. I can remember we were at the House of Blues. I remember distinctly where we were. We were in the patio in the House of Blues, and we were talking about timing and about what was going to happen. And he just went, "No, we're going to do it this way." And I'm going to be, he said, "I'm going to do this." And he goes, "We're going to do it this way."
What was the response of the planner? Did you get a feeling not only in that moment, but then for the rest of the party?
Well, I think that it wasn't the MC. It wasn't a dramatic moment for him. He was throwing that comment away because it wasn't a power. His personality was the type that it wasn't a power move. It was more of a matter of fact. Like, no, we're just going to do it this way. And it wasn't like he stared her down or anything. And then when the client chimed in and said whatever he wants, he just moved on, and it wasn't a big thing. And he didn't make it a big thing. And then she just said, "Okay, great, fine." And I'm looking at this, watching this like it was a scene in a movie, going, "What's going to happen? What?" And there wasn't too much time between what he said and the client chiming in where I went, "Oh my God, that was awesome."
That's interesting. That's interesting. The personality dynamic or the behavioral process of what could be, like you said, a power play or a clash of egos, but it wasn't that at all. And I guess kudos to the MC for being able to do it in such a non-threatening way, but yet, I guess, I don't know, communicating what I'm getting. I wasn't there, obviously, but communicating something along the lines of, "It'll go better if we do this."
Exactly.
Without going through all of that or speaking down to the planner, condescending to the planner in front of the client. He just resolved the issue immediately and then moved on in a non-threatening way.
Exactly.
Like water. I thought that's
totally
That's a gift.
it diffused the moment, and it's part of his nature as a person. His nature was that he's that type of person. It wasn't, there was no malice, there was nothing. He wasn't challenging. He just thought to himself, no, I'd rather do it this way. It'd be better this way. And he's done enough events, and he knew enough about production wise. And obviously it wasn't something that she felt strongly about, or else she may have fought for it.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? She may have fought for it and just went, okay, fine. Especially since the wife just looked at her and said, yeah, well, whatever he wants. But that's the relationship he had. And I'm pretty sure that she knew that. The party planner knew that.
Yeah.
That he had that relationship, because it was the kind of thing like, his name was Steve. Sorry. His name was Steve. Steve's great. Steve's awesome. We love Steve. We love Steve. We love Steve. That kind of thing. And so that told her that when she said that yeah, okay, fine, we'll do it.
What about security? Like when celebrities are involved, does security amp up? Do you have to go through any kind of, have you had, I guess, we're speaking in past tense because of experience, gone through any kind of special security deal, maybe with your phones, or, how you handle the prep, or a non-disclosure or something like that?
I've done a few. I mean, I've done plenty of celebrity events, and it depends on the celebrity. How recognizable or how big of a celebrity they are. We once did an event for one of the biggest movie directors in Hollywood. Okay, and we got hired by an event planner to do this event. So everything, all the finalization was done by the event planner, and we were not told who the event was for and we had to sign a non-disclosure agreement prior to doing the event, and we were not told who the event was for. And 3 days out, who it was.
Well, did you have a conversation with the kid?
No. The event
Really?
planner did it all. The event planner did it all. I told the event planner, I gave the event planner our checklist, our question list. So
okay.
So there was no contact whatsoever. I mean, that's how big of a director this person was.
What did that feel like as a performer? What did that feel like?
It was interesting. I mean, it was because we like to bond. I've got a meeting. I've got a meeting at 4:00 today with a potential client. I have an MC and myself are going to go over their house and meet with them, and we kind of bond. We meet, and you want to connect with the parent, or you want to connect with the parents, and you want to connect with the mitzvah. You want to talk to them and have them feel comfortable with you. So walking into this. And it's not like I've never done an event without meeting somebody, because I've done many events without meeting someone. You do it over the phone because you're going to Santa Barbara, because you're going to Palm Springs, you're San Diego.
Yeah, but there's still direct communication.
Well, there you do get to talk over the phone, but you don't actually bond with them, but only over the phone, your voice. So this was more extreme. This was like, I'd never done that before. And then when we met the girl and met the dad and met the family, it was just very quick. Hi, I'm Gil. And
on the day of or before?
On the day of. It was all on the day of.
What went through your body? Realizing, I mean, I'm a little starstruck. I get a little goofy, and I thank my lucky stars that when I'm working, I have something I can actually focus on. Because if I didn't have something to actually do, I would become a little stupid. So my wife, on the other hand, is completely the opposite of that, and really is just so comfortable. And they're just people, and it's all good. So when you finally engaged, like met face to face, this powerful father, did you feel anything different, or what?
No, I have that voice in the back of my head saying, "I hope he's cool." I just hope he's cool. Hope he's not an a-hole. Hope he's cool.
So was he cool?
He was very cool. And I'll tell you how cool he was. It was only about 150 people. It was in a production office that they cleared out in Santa Monica, and they had a big patio in the front, and they had all of these things going on, and they had security. They had plenty of security. And he did a montage
Oh,
for the event. And this is,
holy moly. I know
yeah.
who you're talking about. Oh my gosh.
Have I told you this story before?
No, but I know who you're
Okay.
talking about. And that montage, oh my gosh.
He did a
What was that
montage, and right, and I knew that the montage obviously was coming, and I'm thinking to myself, "Wow, this montage is gonna be awesome! It's gonna be crazy! It's gonna be," because I've seen other celebrities do montages, and they trick it out because they're in the industry, right? They trick it
Right.
out. They get all these movie stars and all these TV stars and saying things to the mitzvah kid and doing this, that, and the other. And you're like, wow, this is really cool. And then the graphics are awesome because they work for Warner Brothers or something and they bring in stuff. I mean, only those people can do those kinds of things because they
Right.
work in the industry, right? So I'm thinking, oh my, yeah, like you just said, oh my God, what was that? What was that montage like? Because it must have been incredible, right? And I was totally expecting it, and I sat there and I watched this man's montage, and I got to tell you, it was a montage of a dad that had a camera throughout the life of this girl and shot video.
Oh, with maybe
Now the
anticipating
only
this day.
and the only difference between this montage and a lot of other montages you see of like non-celebrity people, right? And the production value was good. It was fine. There was no big effects. There was nothing. It was just a dad who had taped his daughter and the family while they were growing up. The only difference is that there were a bunch of movie stars
Oh, in the video?
in the video because those were his friends and big, recording artists and big of this and big that. And you're like, oh my God, that's so-and-so. And oh my God, that's so-and-so, with a hat on and with a mustache and jumping into the pool and doing this. And, that regular people do. That was the only difference. But it had so much heart, and the party had so much heart. It was literally like doing an event in someone's big house.
That's so cool.
And everyone that spoke and everyone, the things that they did, and they recorded someone leaving a message, and they played it, while they were giving a speech, and it was funny and it was goofing on. In the room, there was a good 6 to 8 really huge celebrities in the room, and they were laughing and having a really good time. And it was just like being in someone's living room. And I thought, this is awesome.
Okay, now, you know what I get from that, because I know who you're talking about, and this person really is at the top of the game. So what I like about it is that when you reach a certain level, you have so much confidence. You're not trying to impress people like maybe the average person would want to impress their peer group, or, how can I outdo somebody else's bar mitzvah, or, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
You got a person who just doesn't have to impress anybody because, his volume of work is so impressive. And so here you have this really intimate thing, this family life moment, and he can just relax and sink into it and tell, like you said, the story of a dad and his daughter.
Yeah, it was great.
Without having to worry about any other hoopla. And oh my gosh, that must have been the coolest thing, because it's such a human experience as
it was
to I don't know, anybody who's trying to do something not that.
And I've done the complete opposite. I've done an event at a huge producer's house in Beverly Hills. They did it at the house. They tented their tennis court. So that's a huge tent. They flew in a band from New York. They had the whole backdrop to the walls where the band was set up on either side they were all TV screens. So it was all one big screen. Each chair had draped over with the bar mitzvah boy's name on it. I mean, it was like they spent so much money and did it at home, right? And all the stuff they had out in the front yard for the cocktails and all the things they must have spent, $500,000 or, $250,000 or something like that. It's crazy, crazy money. And there was a lot of celebrities there, and there was a lot of people there. There was probably about 250 people there. It was huge, 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 huge. and it had very little heart to it.
Right.
You could feel that we're just showing off. Now, in at home, I mean, so you got to give them a little bit for that they didn't do it, because I've done events at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and I've done, Century City Plaza Hotel, and where they're just they spent so much money. They gave kids this, they gave kids that, and the decorations and everything that they had. They had a band, they had a DJ, they had an MC, they had this, they had jugglers, they had the show, carnival show, and and it's. They have all their clients there and all that, but there's no heart in it. And for someone of that stature to do a party like that and do a montage like that and have you could tell that it was a huge difference because it had heart. And that's the thing about, I say to clients a lot of times, I've done huge events, no heart. I've done backyard events, literally bowls of chip and 2-liter bottles of soft drinks, all the heart in the world.
Yeah.
You feel warm.
I have a theory about that. I would imagine, and again, I'm just creating broad strokes and rash generalizations here, but what the heck, it's a podcast. I have a feeling that if a person works really, really hard to be able to afford to live where they live and bring in and spend the money and whatever, there's a possibility that they're working so hard they don't have as much of a familial connection with the kid because they're working so hard.
Right.
Whereas if a person like the one that we are, raving about, takes a camera and makes sure that in as busy as this person is, to make sure that there is still capturing moments of the child as they grow, thinking in ahead to when the child turns 13, we're going to have footage that we can put together at the mitzvah party.
Right.
That changes the whole dynamic, as opposed to the person who's so focused on their career that they forget a little bit. And you hear the what do they call them? Not a sob story or a horror story, but it's the story of somebody that kind of loses perspective in regards to what's the most important thing in life. That whole thing on your deathbed, you're not going to say, I should have spent more time at work. And
right.
And here you are in this pivotal moment for a family, being able to see both ends of the spectrum. And
Yes.
I guess for yourself and your children, you started doing this way before you even had kids, or even probably met your wife, and be able to kind of absorb all of this and say to yourself, I need to be mindful of my children and the connection that I have with them, just because I've seen both ends of how it can turn out.
No, I'm because of my job, I spend a lot of time with my kids. I take them to school, I pick them up. We do a lot of things together. We're together a lot. I'm not that 9-to-5 guy, or the guy who's gone for 3 months filming a movie or doing that kind of stuff. Because that big movie director, he's gone. He's doing movies and he's gone for a long period of time. But I'm sure, and I know friends in the industry as well that, they come home on weekends. They're filming something in New York. They'll come home for a couple of days to be with their family, where they have a break. If they have, hiatus a week, when they're filming a TV show, whatever it may be, they're back home as much as possible. So,
have you ever had the thing where they make people turn in their phones before they come into the party?
There were no phones. There were no phones at that event. They weren't allowed to have phones at that event.
And how long ago was that?
That was probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah. And so social media being what it is today, even back then, it was just at the kind of like, it wasn't fully kicked in.
Because the iPhones came in 2007.
That's right. Yeah. And so, but still, even if it was just for the fact that not only could you capture images that we don't want released, but it's also this way we don't have to worry about anybody's phone going off, because, it is kind of an A-list and high-powered, and people are always trying to reach them. And this way, we just eliminate all the distractions for the length of the party. I did a wedding where they turned in all the phones, when you checked in, and it was just one of those things. And that was more recent. So the whole thing about getting images on social media was more of a threat.
And at that event, we also did digital pictures.
Wait, what does that mean? You had a booth?
Yeah, right, exactly. We're doing digital pictures where we're taking pictures of people coming up and holding signs and doing stuff. So, but none of the big, I can't think. It's been a while. I'm trying to think. like the dad, the mom, I don't think they took pictures, but some of the celebrities did, but not most of them.
Yeah, I would think that's a cautionary tale. That's what I was trying to think of before. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've done, I've been doing digital pictures at events since the late 90s. So
you ever get caught by surprise where, you're going to go do a party, you think it's just a party, and then you show up and all of a sudden there's a celebrity as part of the guests?
Yeah, that happens quite often. That happens. Yeah,
See,
and
goes
it's a
back
double.
to that whole thing where I'm so happy that I have something to focus on. You know what I mean? Because that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of times you get the double take. It's like you look and you think, is that so and so?
Yeah.
Then you walk over to the DJ or the MC or the dancer or whoever you're working with, and you say, is that so and so?
Yeah.
And they'll confirm it, or they'll say, oh no, it's not, or it is, and like, no, it is. That's so and so from what you call it.
Do you find yourself having to not give them any extra energy, like make them the focus of a dance or any? Do you ever go through that process where, okay, now I have to dial that down and not look at them at all?
I just hope that I get a chance to say something to them. Sometimes I don't go out of my way to address them. But if I get a chance to say something to them, I will. And just like I would say something to anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the party, just to be able to say something to them like you would say to a normal person, like a non-celebrity. You know what I mean?
But where it fits within the flow of the party,
exactly, right? What you're doing. So sometimes they come up for the candle lighting and, but there's nothing you can really say. But as far as in the moment of the party, if you could say something to them, I always hope I can say something to them. So.
I'm glad you brought up the candle lighting because I would like to focus on that in the next episode. I think we've reached the end of this one, but that candle lighting thing, that's a unique beast. And I don't think any other event that has that.
I have my theory of who started it as well. So we'll talk about that next week if you want to talk about candle lighting.
Oh yeah, the candle lighting thing. Oh my gosh! All right, Gil, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
Well, you can get in touch with us through the web at zunigaentertainment.com, on Facebook at zunigaentertainment.com, Zuniga Entertainment West Coast, because there is a Zuniga Entertainment on the East Coast as well. Our phone number is area code 818-980-9099 and info at zunigaentertainment.com as well through email. But loved it for you to go to our Facebook Mitzvah Party Podcast and listen to the podcast, or Mitzvah Party podcast.com on the web as well. And if you have any ideas on what you want us to talk about, we would love to hear from you.
Brilliant. All right, everybody, that's the way this works. Until next time, this is Clint. And on behalf of Gil, take care.